everybody, it's Captain Kyle, and I have two third-party transforming vehicles for you. One is clearly a Bumblebee, but in a 1940s style Ford type vehicle. And one is a police car, could be Barricade, could be Prowl, you decide. But I'm gonna go through these guys, show you how they are, tell you about the quality, and you can decide if these are things that you'd like in your collection. Be right back. So these are kind of neat. I gotta say, two vehicles, very large. They actually roll pretty well, though not as good as G1s. This is a police car with apparently some kind of weaponry on the back, which is removable. And this is, like I said, an old-fashioned. It could be a souped-up hot rod if you want it to be. But this has the face of Bumblebee on the bottom, and this looks like it could be Barricade, or, you know, just a version of Prowl with a very mean-looking face. But let's take a look at the Bumblebee first. Again, fashion car, it's got the nice chrome. The plastic feels pretty quality. I mean, feeling it compared to most Transformers, it's about on par. Now the transformation is pretty simple, but you can see it's a pretty neat looking vehicle. You just open the doors, swing those out, pull down the front, the legs pull out. He's got little feet in there. And for a third party, it's actually a pretty neat looking design and a pretty clever transformation. Now he does come with a weapon. It's actually kind of a generic weapon that floats around the third-party world. This looks like it's the same gun as used by the oversized Volcanicus Dinobots, but it works. It fits in his hand, and you know, for a young bot, he's got an old body. So let's go through posability real quick. He can do a full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme, though they wouldn't have known him back in the 40s. He can kind of bend at the knee. The knee's a little high, but he can kick forward. No ankle rockers, but because of his wheels and the wheel wells and such being down here, he can actually have a pretty wide stance without falling over. The arms go all the way around. It's on a ball joint, so you can kind of swivel, but because of this piece, it can't swivel out too far. It can swivel in pretty well and bends, and you have some pretty good mobility on the shoulder. It does not twist at the waist. The head does turn. And as you can see, the head is modeled off of the movie Bumblebee versions out there. So this is Old Bug. Hey. So Old Bug here, pretty good figure, pretty decent. And when you stand him fully upright, he's about 7 inches tall. Some of you guys wish you were 7 inches. Anyway, let's move on to the Barricade Prowl car. Now again, he comes with these extra weapons that you can plug in. By the way, there's no weapon storage for him in vehicle mode. He also comes with this kind of like tonfa slash, you know, club slash gun style thing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But the vehicle mode looks pretty good. He's got the lights in the front, little crash bar or whatever they call that. Lights on top. Looks like he's a pretty good police vehicle. Now I'll pop this off, but the wheels are plastic, as are Bumblebees or Old Bugs, but they move pretty freely. Now his transformation is pretty easy as well, so let's get into his robot mode. While the transformation's easy, it's not too simple. It's not throwing him up in the air and having him transform that way. Now the top of the car turns out to be like a almost shield on his back, almost a backpack. Barricade the Explorer and backpack together. And you can swing up these as well. Gives him a little bit more mobility, though it kind of cuts off his line of sight to the sides, but it makes him look cool, so I guess that's what matters in battle. Now, you can take the hands off very easily. That popped off, but pops back in real easy. Now, these weapons don't really attach to him in robot mode. I thought there might have been a way, but they don't really do anything, so it does become this kind of concentric ring. I was thinking maybe you could put that around an arm, but apparently not. So that goes aside, but he can hold his tonfa gun, so he can beat people with it. He can maybe shoot it if that's one of the functions you assign to it. Maybe it can be a type of cattle prod type thing, but there you go. As far as posability, no big surprise, full Jean-Claude Van Damme. The legs are on ball joints, so can go forward and back pretty well. He bends at the knees, doesn't have ankle rockers. He does actually have a swivel in his upper thigh, so he can be in some pretty dynamic poses, though he seems to want to slide a bit. He does not twist at the waist at all. The arms can go all the way around, bends at the elbow. He can fully swivel out to the sides, and the head does turn. So this could be a version of Prowl, this could be a version of Barricade, however you want to call it. Depends on if you need more Decepticons in your collection. Because in the past, some of the lines have had much fewer Decepticons than Autobots. But they're very cool little toys, very neat versions of the characters, and for third party, pretty nice. And compared to a lot of the Barricades, I don't think this is based on any toy that actually came out. If it is, it's kind of oversized. This guy's a little over 7 inches, especially with the shoulder pads that he borrowed from the 80s and doesn't want to give back. These are the Y-Jang collection. They're like 14 bucks a piece. There's a whole bunch of very similar oversized Siege in the same collection, so I'm going to put a link in the description, but you'll not just see these guys, you'll see additional versions of characters, some of which are straight off knockoffs, but oversized. They even have a Jeep version of him. They have a pretty nice selection, so check it out. And while you're mulling over these guys to go into your oversized collection, you can check out this video over here, which is an oversized version of Optimus Prime from the Siege line. Very cool, a little bit modified, but you should definitely check it out. And of course, like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, all that stuff. We'll see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.